All right, everybody, welcome back. I got cut off on my third attempt, and I had to restart everything. At like halfway through, I realized it wasn't even recording. Oh my God! Now, this is the third entry. I'm going to go a little faster if I can, if possible, but not too fast. Can't even remember what I was mentioning, but oh yeah, there's an amazing phenomenon in the county you live in the place you live in the place you find great pieces along rivers, digging, creeks, fields. My two land blocks alone, my two counties. I did a study. I mentioned it to some. That's a good place for that. But that study had to do with how many of these stone tools were produced by a family group per day for their use. And, it was a modest amount. Minimum of 5 per day per family group. That includes teenagers, young adults, as well as the masters and the men. The women were also making textiles or pottery, what have you. It was a whole system going on. This is an absolute G10 point. My quartz G10 will find their home here. So all in all, the two counties that I live in, probably since 9,000, modestly 9,000 BC, there's been approximately 72 million stone tools made since that time. We did a modest study of the last 10,000 years, occupation, what have you, and timelines, lineage, how long it would take to diversify or split languages into different individual separate language stocks, that sort of stuff, just to get a little bit of accuracy. And I say a little bit because we know nothing as we should. We know truth, virtue. Whereas if you're still watching, it's probably because you have a spiritual connection to the people. It's not about me, to these people. Now, unbelievable pieces and points. Now, in some measure, I think some people have commented, I keep it full. I keep it at the same level because I koi things and I move things on depending on their prominence in the collection or what have you. Now, moving day has happened in terms of a giveaway, but I have moving day because a lot of the pieces have to move on and have to get into a safer place or a collection. This is found out in Site 7, near a site I call Gold Dust, site I call the Isolation, which is near, I think, I forgot what the other site is. You forget, you have quite a few sites. I try to keep them named, but that's an interesting point right there. Solid, big quartz. Now, I have places where I'll probably move that when this bin opens up a bit, I'll put some of the bigger pieces, which this is actually a fairly big piece. These are not arrowheads for bow. These are atlatl tips for the atlatl. If you haven't checked that out yet, just check it out. I think it's fine for us in the hobby to call them all arrowheads. That's cool. I get it. Most people do. But there's not a lot of people that know artifacts. This has got to go somewhere else. It's too big and chunky. There's not a lot of people that have the knowledge that you do out there. Just of this life where they could just give a quick guess. Hey, this point right here, which is a great serrated piece, how old? When do you think it's from? Most people will immediately think it's from the historic period Indian because they'll say, what tribe do you think it's from? This point, all these that you see are not from a tribe. They're from a clan or a pod of people before they name themselves anything but the people. That is, the people who are by this river or this water or this mountain. And they've only known themselves as the people for centuries and millennium. They were sure of that, which is amazing. Serrated place. This is a bin where I have serrated points. So it finds its place there. Now there's another type of point here. I remembered it. I'm jumbling around here. Which is here. And here. Very interesting. I mean, this one, people talk about things ground, is so ground, I think you'll probably be able to pick it up on camera. It's almost like, I mean, really ground. I don't know. That could put it back in time. Some of you guys say that it might. This one is not ground. But they made them to work, you know. Anyway, with that many pieces that they're producing, I was mentioning, I think before it got cut off on the other one, or some of the characteristics of it, it becomes absolutely overwhelming. Absolutely overwhelming. And it should be. I think that other video that got cut off, I made a comment about that if you don't find things every day that naturally, holistically overwhelm your cognitive ability to put it together, you cannot control time. You cannot get to the place where you think you know. Because we don't know anything as we should. And this, what you're looking at, this kingdom, is a good way to keep you humble. If you will be honest in contemplating it, or learning how long it could have taken for 500 different nations of people with different language stock to diversify. And now we have the entrance of Coyote Arrowhead. Have you guys thought about that? Mexico. This stuff, it goes beyond our North American understanding of the North American Indian. It's staggering. So remember this as I finish this video segment. G10. Well, there's some G10s in here that I'll set aside that need to go in that G10 bin, and here's one of them. And I have a friend who comments after they say something. Right. This is a definite G10, right? And that's going to go in a bin that's below this level, which I'm going to get this thing opened up. And I'm wondering here if I'm looking. And there's different styles. I usually go by styles and pieces. This material here, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can get it on focus with the natural light. It's very interesting. So, going through times and eons, I'm trying to figure out here which ones I have to pull to organize my thoughts ahead of time. Guilford straight base. This, what I'm doing to organize them into a collector's box, does take a little bit of time. I have a crystal bin, which is where this will go. Super rare. Some of these, many of these you've all seen, found live. Crystal Guilford. I'd just, it'd be amazing if I found a crystal Guilford. This piece of sugar quartz. Many times I'll know where things going when I get them going, like little points like this. My time. I'm sort of trying to keep track of time. Favorite style. I think it's I don't know. People call them Rowans, but it's an ancient Indian point, nevertheless. Now, as I finish this segment, a little LaCroix, I think my final comment is, I think it's a good hobby if we do this, because it allows us to broaden our minds if we will allow ourselves to let go of ourselves. What did it take to make this kind of thing happen? It had to happen, because that's the way they lived and survived and ate. Craziness, right?